Thank you to Pocketbook for sending us this sample. Now this is the Pocketbook EO, and I know what you're thinking. This already came out. We know that. They sent us this actually very recently for a kind of a historical look-back piece that we decided to put together. So we reached out to Pocketbook and said, can you send us one and we'll do a quick video for you guys. We like this unit a lot, and the reason is because more than what it just looks like at face value, Pocketbook has always been one of those companies that strictly went to e-readers. They never really ventured outside of that. They had a couple things with the Viva. They had a couple things with the Pocketbook Color. It's like, oh, you're getting into color. You have a scribble app. Oh, something happening. This is the first time that they've contracted bigme to make the physical body. And this is also the first time they truly branched out of that old school kind of sunken screen and bezel e-reader approach, big or small, with the InkPad Lite at 9.7 inches or all the other smaller 6-inch devices. This is really the first time they went into untreaded territory for the brand with Android, Google Play, and of course, EMR, note-taking. So let's take a look back at the EO. You know, it's a little bit shocking in a way seeing a device like this come out of the brand, and it was only because of the collaboration between Pocketbook International and bigme that they even made something like this in the first place. The Kaleido 3 screen is a pretty much standardized thing. It's on all the 10.3s, especially for the time, 2024. But it's so vibrant and usable and clear and crisp on this, and you know, it has one of the least reflective anti-reflective layers. You'll see here that it definitely does break down the light better than some other devices in its class. It definitely is an anomaly in the world stage of e-paper products. On the top, you have 4 microphones and a power button along with a fingerprint sensor for biometric unlock. You have 2 speakers on the left side. It depends on which way you're looking at it. Nothing on the other side. And on the bottom, you have a USB-C and an SD card tray as well. The whole thing, of course, is plastic, but it is flush on the front and back and features a nice kind of gunmetal stripe on the whole side. You also have a camera with a flash package, and this is a flush camera and flash package with no camera bump. The pen included in the unit, although is useful and has the Pocketbook logo on it, is one of the cheapest pens in the industry, something we've seen out of 2014. If you've used a Pocketbook before and you go to this, you're going to be shocked because it's more indicative of the bigme operating system than the Pocketbook. It's a complete departure, and that's a good thing because for so long they've done kind of business as usual, but now they've completely flipped the script. You have a dual warm light, glow light, cool light setting. You can toggle that off and on. You have everything under the sun from split screen, global handwriting, eink center. You're going to live and die by that. We'll show you that in a bit. You have volume control with the stereo speakers we showed you, and going over here you have apps. Apps is going to be, well, all your applications. Anything you want, you don't want, you can uninstall side-loaded things, and you have the Google Play Store to download millions of apps. Literally millions of applications. You do have a few more things under the Ink Center, which we told you about because you definitely need to hit this place up. This is the Ink Center. You will go over to custom, and from there you have anti-shake, auto clean, which helps with video playback. You have HD 256, Regal, Normal, Fast, Extreme mode. You can change the contrast settings. You can change the vivid enhancement. You can change the color, brightness, and how many taps until it refreshes. There is a ton of functionality here, and you can go to default if it ends up just getting a little bit too overwhelming. Of course, you do have settings as well, which, much like any Android device, is just going to give you a ton of settings. Now, this floating ball can be a little bit obnoxious at times, but you can put it anywhere you want and you can turn it off. You have all this stuff. I'm talking tons of different things you can do, tons of secondary menus, tertiary menus. We're not going to go through all this because we can't. There's just simply too much. There's gesture controls, stylus calibration, everything under the system, the date and time, the language, the input methods, the keyboards, and then you have all of your Google services, which you can obviously get into if you connect to Wi-Fi. We're not connected to Wi-Fi right now because we're just showing the device itself. You have Bluetooth, you have the Wi-Fi itself right under there. You can go to all your Wi-Fi networks. You do get multiple bands as well, so you can see we have a G and an A band. Sometimes you only get one on ebook readers. This thing has a browser. It's got all your files for a file manager, and out of the total 64 gigabytes that is on the device, you get 50.16 with nothing preloaded, so about a fifth is allocated to the operating system itself. This is a little bit of the matter of you've seen one review, so you've seen them all. So because we already did this a year ago, and this is more a kind of honorary look back, we're just going to go with the note-taking experience. Now, you do have different styles of pens, and you have 10 different colors along with the absence of color, which is white, and you have black, which is every color. You know, there have been some manufacturers that hate doing orange because it's hard to reproduce, but you know what? They do it pretty well on this. Although I must say, the pen right out of the gates is just kind of decent. It's not the most amazing pen on the market, so I would recommend maybe just going and getting a Lamy pen, or maybe get a Stadler or something, because it's just a little bit more usable. But the colors are so crisp, so vibrant, and more importantly, they're usable, unlike Gallery 3, which was a complete flop on our end when we released our unit. It only lasted about 15 months. And of course, the Remarkable is struggling with their unit as well. But Kaleido doesn't really suffer from any of the poor refreshing, the poor slowdowns, the high latency. It's just really quick and easy, and it blends well, and it's just such a concise color experience, and I absolutely love it. In terms of the functionality, you do have some things right here. You have some odd shapes, and you have different things you can do by adding text, and you can add in some pictures inline as well as the lasso tool. I really like the arrow. This is kind of underrated because when you're doing drafting and stuff like that and you want a big, thick, dotted arrow in red, you can put it right on the page and away you go. You have multiple pens as well. You have calligraphy pencil, brush, and ball pen. The pencil is going to do a little bit more of the kind of angled dusting. It's not going to be quite as good as the other units that really pride themselves on it, but it's going to be all right. So now that we've drawn a whole bunch of things using the features, we can use the lasso tool. We can pick that up, we can move it around, we can copy, paste it, we can put it to the clipboard and put it on another page. So if you just did something really extensive and you want to save it or you want to duplicate it, you can do that. The shapes as well, going back to it, you have this kind of quintessential circles and squares and stuff like that. So you can make a solid regular circle and place it right there and move it around and all that stuff. You also have text, in which case you have a whole bunch of font settings, and of course you have AI integration, so we can get rid of that little side palette over there and write something on the screen and see what AI can help us out with. So it takes about 2 seconds, but honestly, this is a lot better than a lot of other manufacturers, I'll say, and that's all I'll say on that one. And of course, you have different languages. So you do have more languages as well, because this is Pocketbook and it is Android. So you can bet your bottom dollar you're going to have 4 pages of languages. Pocketbook in and of itself is the best international company. They give you so much accessibility for basically any language, any script, any Unicode keyboard. It's very helpful. Pair it in with Android and the possibilities are endless. So not only did that do it very well with the text recognition, it actually did it exactly where I wrote it. So it'll be, let's do some AI stuff like that. You can also copy it. You can go into it and start typing things past that point, and then you can replace it. You can do full screen, you can change the keyboard, you can send it from basically email or export it to apps. So if you have Facebook Messenger installed on here, or if you have WhatsApp or something, you can instantly just send it off. Really, the note-taking experience is extremely high quality, except for the fact that, objectively speaking, it doesn't feel like pen on paper. It does feel more on the tablet side, and that has to do with the anti-reflective screen and the very kind of basic pen, but the eraser works wonders. It's all very capable, and it's just a really high quality kind of middle ground, mid-range area for the note-taking functionality. You know, we don't do a lot of these lookbacks, and I think we should do a little bit more. Our shoot schedule is really busy, honestly. We have a ton of units around the studio, but you know, it is nice that when companies send us these kind of samples that are a little bit redundant because we've done them before, but it bears mentioning because we approach it knowing everything what we know since it was released. For example, I've had a lot of things happen since 2024 when this came out. We've had the AI Note 2, we've had the remarkable stuff, we've had the Kindle Scribe, but now I use all that, and then we look at it and we can draw these immediate parallels and pull things out of your hat and say, oh, you know what, the EO does do it well, it does do this well, it does do this poorly, whatever the case may be. So it's kind of bears mentioning when these companies say, hey, you know, here's our unit from a year ago, what do you think? And it definitely does hold up, but there is something else. The Color Note, Pocketbook's latest unit, still 2024 technically year because I think it's November, December, but this is the latest unit with this little hidden SD card door. It's so cool. Honestly, it kind of feels like, you know, Pocketbook does have a really strong track record and they do release a lot of units, but it's almost like they can't do any wrong. Even when they release something that's kind of similar to something else, they just can do no wrong, and the EO screams, we can try anything, we can do anything, and you guys are gonna like it because we're gonna give you something really good. And that's what you see from devices like the EO. That's it. That's the look back on the Pocketbook EO. We hope you guys enjoyed this, and if you have any other questions, leave them down below. See you on the next one.